So here is the main culprit of rattly elan doors. So I'll just see if I can get it. There you go. So, right, there we go. So when you shut it, the big heavy motor rattles around and obviously makes everything else rattle with it. On the driver's side, it's, my particular example, it's canted over much further towards the bottom of the door frame. So my approach there was to secure it to the bottom of the door frame with some cork pads. This isn't the same. It is, yeah, it's far more in the middle. I imagine far more as it was intended to be from the factory. You can see down here, I also haven't got anything on this. This is lent over far more. And you can see someone's been in here and chopped bits out. I think that was me when the wires failed and I was out. To be fair, I was on the road when that happened, so it needed a bad repair. But none of this was me or this up here. They're saying that that one's cut away as well. So this fix is going to be slightly different. I'm not really sure how I'm going to approach this because there'd be an awful lot of wedging that I need to do. But one thing I did find, and I'm surprised I didn't notice, the weather strip for the outside is, well, it's not missing, I know where it is, it was at the bottom of the door. So all of that will need replacing. So yes, same problem, different solution required. Looks like foam. Apparently these did have foam around them from the factory to stop them from rattling around. Okay, I thought I'd talk over this just to give a bit of context. So I was originally planning just on mounting the motor a bit more solidly with some wedges, but it became quickly apparent that there was a knocking where the glass was hitting metal, and the only way to fix that was to remove the whole kind of window frame cassette thing. And this is where things started to go well and then suddenly very badly, mainly just down to my total inexperience in what I was doing and probably overconfidence and ignorance. I'll pull you back in now. Right, well, I have taken the body off the car and done lots of bits, but this is probably quite ambitious for me, removing the window frame and associated bits from the door. Came out quite easily. I don't know how much I filmed, so I might cut this out, but it's 4 bolts holding it in, and then it's attached to the actual door here. The most fiddly bit is getting the clips, the rod clips off. I ended up removing them out, but getting them off was quite hard. Getting them on, well, not looking forward to it. But essentially the problem I have, and I'll try and replicate it, is the window, this channel here, this is where all the torque goes when the cables pull, and it's compressed. What it's done is it pulled the window out here, so it will rattle along, make that metallic noise when it should be like that and held firm. So what I did was I spent a few pounds, and it did end up being a few pounds, like £140, 140 quid for new top strips. So these go along here, and the associated clips. So this is enough for 2 doors, by the way, so 2 here, and I've got the driver's door one here, and the what I believe is called silent channel, and this runs all the way around the frame, and this is apparently enough for both doors. And then the door clip, the rod clips, because mine were, you know, they were knackered, these were horrifically expensive. It's only like £2 or £3 each, but hey ho. Teach me just to order everything without asking the price. So I'm not really sure how to approach this. These seem to be in sections, so I suppose yank one out and see if this stuff fits, and then if it does, see if it's been contact adhesived in, and just take it from there. We'll see how we get on. So here's a quick time lapse of me learning how the window comes apart. To be honest, quite simple. The pulleys come off. They've just got an E-clip on them. The actual pulley where the motor goes in is just two bolts. Wasn't really a huge amount to be scared of. Once you knew where the cable went, it was all relatively straightforward. And then I think it is called silent channel. That was a bit of a bugger to get out, but it all came out relatively easily. And the new stuff went in. I think you can see a coil of it. I've just sat in front of it, but the new stuff went in really easily as well. The weather strips weren't too bad either. It was a relatively pleasant job. It all went well. The window still does sit. It tips over as the motor operates, but on the whole, the rattling stopped. And it had fresh seals. Happy days, happy boy. But yeah, the next bit gets more interesting. But all you can see, there's my impact driver to get the screw out. But yeah, really nice job. I'm contemplating doing it to the driver's side now. I know what I'm doing. So the one thing I didn't want to do was to take the glass out and the cables. So I'm still worried that it won't go back together properly, but I took a video of it, so hopefully that's saved and it's worked. But I haven't had to detach the cable from the window or from the spool, so it should be okay. The problem was I was going to have to install. I couldn't. The window is constantly in this channel at some point during all the positions, and it's an important bit, so I needed to have the window fully out. This is a straight run, join, then it seems to go all the way around, join around here, and then a straight run down. So it looks like it's been contact adhesived in, so I'll do the same when I fit it. So yeah, I'll give them, I think I videoed a bit of me cleaning, but I'll clean it up. I'm just going to test a small section to see if it fits. That looks like enough to do one door. Okay, so yeah, I'm at a bit of a crossroads, to be honest. I cut one strip and then put an angle on it here because it pinched, and then managed to do this in one long continuous length. The problem I've got is, I don't know, it's a pretty tight fit, and I used a bit of silicone spray to help get it in because that made it go, but it really doesn't want to come out. It was obviously bonded in place the first time round. Do I just leave it? I'm not quite sure how to get it in without silicone spray and with glue on it. No idea. So where are we at? Elan's Fanus. All of these have come off, been cleaned up and greased. I'm not sure how long the grease will last, but it's better than not. Oop, not doing it. I've got new clips for the weather strip. They're on both sides, so that's ready to go in. I don't know whether to put the weather strip on now or after the glass is in, because leaving it might give me a bit more wiggle room for the glass. So yeah, I'm going to refit the glass, so hopefully you'll join me in about 5 minutes and I won't be crying. Well, as Melchett said, bugger me with a fish fork. I think that was the line anyway. It went in. I mean, it didn't go straight in, but I mean, it was, I'll check the date stamps on these videos, but it couldn't have been more than 2 or 3 minutes. Well, a little bit more than that, because I had to screw everything in, but yeah, I didn't even need to look at my reference video. Easy. Easy peasy. I now need to test if the rattling has stopped. I hadn't thought of that. I'm not doing that on camera. Well, wowee, it's all back together, it's all clipped in. It does dip a bit here. I'm unsure if that's because I may have lent on it or if that's just the profile, but it should pull itself back up when it's in the door. So we're very nearly done. I've just got to trim down here, and there are a couple of pads which have come away during the build, but I have bought some self-adhesive pads, so I'll probably just put a few more on. There was only rattle I heard was here. These two are interfacing, and it is a little loose because it's not as far over. I'm also going to put a pad on the stop. Right, back with the car and putting the very expensive door clips on. As you can see, someone's replaced this with a rather natty split pin, but yeah, these tend to fall apart. The old one on here, it just kept me out of ring, and this is the bit that actually does the retaining. So yeah, worthwhile changing these while I can. Well, what do you know? I have got it all back together. That the actual door handle one, which you can just see him in the background. It's a bit of a pain, but once you figure out to put the clips in, then the rod, and then clip the clip to the rod, it's much better. I did get these to fit. I just drilled the hole a little bit bigger. I haven't tested it yet, but everything's moving, so I'm going to bolt everything up and then give it a test. So fingers crossed. Okay, please do excuse the mess, but window goes up, window goes down, window doesn't rattle. That you heard there was a door against the metal unit, but I'll put it all the way down. I'm having some electrical issues, and I think there's either a caught wire or the battery is incredibly low. God, I haven't got any room down this side. Door shuts. Door opens. Nice. And then which rod do I pull? I think it's this one. Door opens. Nice. Obviously I've still got the motor to support to stop from rattling. You can see him moving around down there. But that'll do. That'll do for tonight. I'm going to go and cook tea, and I'll finish this off in the morning. I can't remember where I got to with the filming last night, but this was fitted last night, and it's not fitted this morning. The reason being that I've remembered that I hadn't cleaned out the inner channel, because there was noise, harshness and vibration issues. These, I mean, I'm no expert because I've never done anything with a door on an elan. These look like body spacers to the chassis. That is the top nut which goes in there, which is almost impossible to get to with your hands, but I've got a plan to get that one on, and I dropped it, so I had to take it out anyway. But yeah, that's out. It's all hoovered, it's all clean. Yeah, I'm gonna see how long it takes me to get it back in. Hopefully not too long. All right, that was about 15 minutes to get the door cassette in, but most importantly, the big challenge is this one here, because these two are captive, this one isn't, and you can literally just get a finger up. So so big dob of grease, stick the washer on, and then the nut and to be fair, I've got that really tight with just holding it with my finger. But yeah, the old trick of using a bit of grease. So these three in, and then I've got my handle bit there. That will go in, connect the rods up, bolt the motor on, and then it's done really. It shouldn't take too long from here. Time taken to get 99% of the door done. Yeah, I can get this in and all set up within about 10 minutes. However, we have a problem. So this is the release for the external door handle, and the problem we have is, so this goes in from this side. That was a bit fiddly doing it with one hand. And you push it in. Oh, that's really hard, it won't go in. But then if you get it just at the right angle, it slips in no bother. Problem is, it also comes out. So these, they aren't round, they're like elliptical. So they don't, if they go in that way, they grip beautifully. But then after operating the handle a few times, they spin and they drop out. So the only solution I can see is it's rather convenient. I don't know where this has come from. This little washer is thin enough to kind of retain it over the top. So I'm going to try that. Okay, this was a little bit too big for the washer, and also the gap wasn't quite enough for it to sit under. Now I found one of the old ones and it appears to be quite happy. I'm going to have to test it. No, right, that pulled out without a huge amount of effort. Didn't have the rod in the middle, obviously. I'll try it with the rod. With the rod installed, that looks, it looks like it's as good as I'm going to get. This isn't the right rod, by the way, so don't use that for guidance. The rod I need is attached to the handle, and that isn't coming out without the whole frame coming out again, undoing the electric motor, etc., and the bugger of a non-captive bolt at the top. So, is this going to do? Is this going to do, or do I slightly modify this, being newer, harder plastic? I don't know, team. What do I do? What do I do? This video has escalated a little bit, and yeah, you may ask why I'm tapping a thread with the door butchered open. Well, the answer to it is the bolt holding the window frame cross-threaded, and it's a captive nut, and I couldn't get it off. And I thought, how the hell am I going to do this? Because there was no room to get anything on it from inside. I obviously couldn't remove it because it's bolted in, and you couldn't get the bolt out. And then I kind of remembered that my body works really shit anyway. I mean, that's where I dropped a ladder on it. There's actually a massive crack running down there that I need to repair. And there's a great big sticker on it. So I thought, sod it, you know what? I don't care if people think I'm an animal. I need to get this job done. I'm gonna cut a hole in my door. Yeah, so, you know, by all means, give me all your vitriol. I know it's not a very professional repair, but I always have the excuse that I am not a professional. Therefore, you're not going to get a professional repair. I don't know if I should have walked away from this and come back at it, but I got up early. I've been working on this since 7 AM on a Saturday, so I'm going out this afternoon, and I thought, yeah, let's have the door done and finished. And I sort of had it in my head that I couldn't do anything other than finish the door, even if it means So yeah, there we go, gents and ladies. What an idiot. Yeah, that was the welding I did. I'm not sure that helicoil's good. I might need to check it. But yeah, and this is the space I had to do it in. So, not bad for a pig of a job. Right, it's the day after the passenger door massacre. I've calmed down a little bit and we've got a lovely fix. I'm going to have a go at fiberglassing the fix, but I'm going to wait till there's better weather and I can do it outside. The door is fully operational. Works and shuts nicely. There's still a little rattle, but you know, I think that's just handles and bits that will, because I haven't got the door card on yet. But you know, I've felt it up everywhere and I've got the motor wedged in with microfiber cloths. And I was concerned, it does lean out a bit, the door frame actually. That was what I was trying to fix when I had the window frame bolts out. And then if you look down here, there's a big crack. So what I'm hoping to do is just bend it in, because I can fit my finger through it, which isn't good. And it's when you tighten up the bottom ones, it pulls the window out. So I'm not really sure how to do it. I mean, I suppose, actually, thinking about it, I could put a spacer in, couldn't I? Yes, I could. That's probably what it is. That's probably what the washers were that I found in the bottom of the door. That makes a lot more sense. Oh, I'm gonna have to fix that now, aren't I? Oh, bollocks. Can you guess what happened next? Yeah, this fucker started spinning as well. So we have a second hole in the door. It was the same, the nut hadn't actually stripped, it was just spinning. You can't get on it, you just can't get on it. So I've chopped them both off. This one was a bit messier because I had a weld on it, but that was nice and clean. So I'm just going to put 2 metric M8s on it probably. And yeah, just start again. Effing cars. Okay, we're jumping ahead a little bit here, but essentially the rearmost captive nut failed, so I have another hole in the door and I have done some expert over-the-top pigeon welding. I've got a big penny top washer and then a captive M6. The ones that Lotus used, the bolts were quite large. The nuts were quite large, so you know they have more surface area. These ones aren't, so I thought I'd beef it up. I don't want them coming unstuck. And I've got some nice new M6 bolts to go in. So just got to get the cable back on the windows, and then these can go back in for probably the 5th time, but hopefully the final time. I really wasn't expecting to use the welder as much as I did on this job, but hey, there you go. Right, the door is back together. No door card, so there is slightly more rattling, but it shuts quite nicely. There is still, when the window is either at all the way up or all the way down. Hang on. There we go. See? Shuts much nicer. It's still a bit out at the top. I don't know if I need another spacer or not. I'm just sort of pausing while I'm ahead at the moment. But both doors now work. Fully operational. I haven't put the door cards in yet, just 'cause I didn't want to tempt fate. This one, the handle and the fiberglass wobbles a bit, but if you hold it, that shuts nicely. Right, apart from 2 gaping holes in the passenger door, I tell you what, the car feels so claustrophobic on the passenger side. It feels so small. I don't know, is my seat? Oh yeah, the seat's a bit further forward. I remember being taken out in it and you feel like, ugh. Anyway, passenger door. Fucking listen to that. Oh yeah. Driver's door. Yes. He's a happy boy. And just to prove it, even with the window down. And halfway up. Little bit of rattle, but we'll forgive it, seeing as it's basically thrown together by an idiot. Oh well.
Good boy. Yes, you are. For you, just as bad.